The first day of coverings, and we try to emphasize quality, not quantity of the experience, right? So, for those of you sitting down, thank you very much. Some brief introductions. Our National Director of Training, Dave Kennedy, based out of our Spring Lake, Michigan office. Next to him, James Medina, happens to live in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he's Director of Architectural Services, but a very diverse background. He's been a tile contractor, he's been a sales representative, and now he's Director of Architectural Services for Noble Company. Myself, I'm Dean Moylan. I have been with Noble for 22 years. Happen to live in Las Vegas, Nevada. For you trivia buffs, Noble Company's in about 25% of all the hotel room showers in this town. We are a manufacturer of waterproof membranes, crack isolation, sound isolation, linear drains, prefabricated pans and trays. What we're going to be talking about this morning real briefly and showing is, of course, dry pack mortar, everyone knows, has been around for a long time. A great system installing. However, there are some new ways of skinning the cat. And these are the prefabricated pans and trays that are out there. And so we're taking a look at, okay, if we do it the dry pack mortar method, how's that going to pan out for you? No pun intended. If you're going to do the prefabricated foam pan tray method, how's that going to work with our product? So before we get started, James is going to get all the goodies that you need to get set to install a dry pack mortar.
Can I go?
Go ahead. Get started. Real briefly, I wrote an article in Tile Letter. If you have trouble sleeping at night, it's a great overview of the whole prefabricated pan tray concept. Again, if you have trouble sleeping, come grab that. I'll give you a copy of it for tonight. But brief background about our introduction into prefabricated pans and trays. Now, obviously, they've been out for a while, and a lot of them use 3-pound foam. Okay, it's either going to be EPS, expanded polystyrene, or XPS, which is a little more dense, water-resistant type of foam. But what we did was we looked at the market, and one of the concerns about prefab pans and trays, obviously what you're trying to do is you don't want to have to form that pre-slope or your dry pack mortar bed by hand, so you're going to use EPS, XPS foam, some type of way to create your slope. Because we did not want to have the scenarios where, let's face it, if your foam point loads and compresses, and you've got a 1x1, 2x2 mosaic on the pan, you might have some point loading and compression that could cause a failure. Literally, too much compression causes the tile to around the drain is going to sink down. Grout lines are going to be knocked loose, and you may develop a leak, okay? So, we're using on our foam pans and trays, okay, what's that?
I'm not going to put that mud up there.
Okay, all right, so, in the meantime, James is, by the way, made his bones, made his livings, being a licensed tile contractor, doing all the things you're going to do when you're installing a dry pack mortar bed, getting your measurements, what's my width, what's my length of the shower pan, of course. Hopefully you're using, and by the way, dry pack mortar beds with shower pan liners are still a very valid, acceptable, time-honored way of installing a waterproof shower pan membrane. But hopefully you're using a chlorinated polyethylene shower pan membrane. If you don't know what that is, come over to booth 3602. Noble Company makes it perhaps the finest, most durable, fungal-resistant, chemical-resistant, heat-resistant shower pan in the industry. It's made from chlorinated polyethylene. What does that mean? It is the most rugged thermoplastic out there. There are polyvinyl chloride, PVC shower pans. I think there may be some polyethylene shower pans, PE, but none of those products are going to be as robust and durable as chlorinated polyethylene, okay? I can tell you from my 22 years at Noble Company, I personally have never been on a Chloraloid 240 product failure due to manufacturing concerns. Now, what Dave Kennedy is doing, he's using a thin set, an ANSI A118.4 modified thin set. It does not matter whose you use as long as it at least meets that criteria. Now, one of the advantages of our system, because we can make our pan and tray, and let me grab this again, because we can make our pan and tray with the membrane pre-installed, we're taking, another part of that element in the field out of the installer's hands. And let's face it, I think every tile contractor out there wants to have the best trained, mechanics in the field, but if you can have the manufacturer put the membrane on at the factory, that's one less thing that might go wrong in the field. Okay? So James is, you have to have that pre-pitch, right, James? You need a pre-pitch. Okay. Believe it or not, guys, gals, there are parts of the country, I'm a big fan of Tile Geeks, by the way. Great Facebook site. But you'll find that there are some parts of the country where the concept of pre-pitch really hasn't taken hold, okay? So what Noble makes is, so we don't have to form it by hand, we make a prefabricated pre-pitch, okay? Comes in a variety of sizes, so instead of spending that time to do a pre-pitch, you can actually use this product, cut it to the size you need. You're not waiting for the curing and drying, and don't have to have that skill set required for a pre-pitch. So, now, how's everybody, Dave, doing? Okay, back to our ProBase 2. And by the way, we have a program where, whether it's 1 shower or 1,000 showers, we can custom make the ProBase 2 to the size you need, to the drain location you require. Now, we have a custom program where without the membrane, you give us your approved drawings, we can turn around in 3 to 5 days your customized ProBase 2 pan without the membrane. Now, if you want the membrane attached, give us 7 to 14 days. We've been fortunate so far with the supply chain challenges out there because we're a U.S.-based manufacturer, okay? We make our membranes down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we make our linear drains, our clamping ring drains, our ProBase 2, our niches, all the foam products are made. What's James doing over there? Okay, look. Obviously, he's got to mix the mud. That takes some time, okay? But in the meantime, because we make all of our products either in Baton Rouge or Spring Lake, we've been blessed so far. We've been lucky, really haven't had any significant supply chain snarls. So, back to the ProBase 2. In this case, they decide, you know what, I want to save some time. I got a new installer helper. He's not that good at installing membrane. Let me have the membrane attached. Now, we're not talking about you. We're talking about your helper, okay? Yeah, okay. Anyway, so because of that, he has it with the membrane pre-attached. Now, we've had projects where the general contractor was kind of skeptical. Tile contractor, I don't know, I'm not so sure. I'm a dry pack mortar guy. They really had to be convinced. But what convinced them was when we went on that job site, we used a modified rapid set thin set along with our 250 sealant, which, by the way, can cure out and flood test in an hour. We were installing and flood testing shower pans the same day, okay? Why? Because the membrane's pre-attached. The sealant that's used on your flashing details, on your corners, is ready to go. And when I say an hour, Dave, am I being generous? He's busy. He can't hear me. Anyway, an hour is plenty of time. So if you're using a rapid set adhesive, or if you're using Noblebond EXT, if you're on a wood substrate, residential, could be second floor, using the EXT, along with our ProBase 2, along with our 250 sealant, means you can install and flood test the same day. And when you start doing your math, if you're doing even 10 showers, much less 50, much less maybe 500, the time savings is incredible. Not to mention, let's face it, if you do enough shower pans, do enough flood tests, there might be a failure or two by taking the pre-pitch out of the installation in the field, by taking the membrane installation out of the field and doing it at our home office. You're removing those elements that might cause you problems down the road. Now, in addition, our warranty on our membranes, we're working on it, but right now it's lifetime of the installation transferable. That's for the membranes. But for those of you who may use our products, and you might use a variety of thin-set manufacturers' products. Our warranties, our system warranties, they cover the entire range of the shower pen installation. So if that's a concern for you, don't let it be a concern, okay? And James is, okay, and this is, we're not really being overly dramatic here. We're not, trying to exaggerate. It takes time. If you're in the field, you're going to have to, how many bags of mud do you have here? Three? That's 100 and how many? 150 pounds? Okay, so imagine this. If you're even on a modest 2 or 3 story hotel, or it could be student dorms, or whatever, to haul all that sand, all that cement, all that water up the man lift, and then stage it in every room, okay? That's a lot of money for someone, the GC, or for your crews. And you're done. Okay, so now he has installed the ProBase 2. He's installed our prefabricated curb. Now the one thing you would do is you would still flash up the sides, correct? Okay, and now typically we've been asked how many of these shower pans can you put in a day with a 2-man crew using either our EXT or Rapid Set Thin Set? Conservatively, a 2-man crew should be able to put in 4 to 6 shower pans, flash, and be ready to flood test. Now, once you get the hang of it, we had guys on that job at Table Mountain. They were knocking out 8 shower pans a day, a 2-man crew, okay? So your production goes way up. The incidence or probability of flood test failures goes way down. I'm sorry. Am I bothering you? Okay. Anyway, a couple things to note. We make our own linear drains in Spring Lake, Michigan. What's neat about that is we take a little different tack, a little different course. Our drain bodies are solid PVC or ABS. We can make them any size from 2 feet up through 8 feet. We can have the drain tie-in wherever you need it, okay? So those kind of features and benefits have helped a lot of, we've had general contractors, owners, hey, gee, we've got a VA hospital in Memphis, we've got 300 rooms, the plumbing's in, someone wanted the drain tie-in at the end, not a problem. We made 300 linear drains to the size they wanted. In addition, this comes with a tile top strainer. The big difference, James, how's it going?
I'm almost there.
Okay, so you've got is the ProBase in? The Pro Slope?
Yes, I do.
Okay, he has the Pro Slope. Okay, and he's done his measurements. And look, again, I'm a firm believer in there are many ways to get up the mountain, okay? Reading Tile Geeks, there are a variety of respected, established, successful contractors. They like using dry pack mortar. They're comfortable with it. That is fine. It's not a question of this is better than that, but the concerns about prefab foam have been, gee, it's kind of soft, it's kind of compressive. I get it, and I'm going to pass out a couple samples here. I'm going to pass them around there. There you go. But you'll notice we have a honeycomb matrix on top of our prefab tray, and here's the difference. About 30 to 45 psi on the front. Look, you can see my fingers. Okay, now imagine I'm 225, 235, okay, 240. Anyway, you're a big guy on a foam panner tray, he might dent that thing up. With this prefab honeycomb matrix on top, the PSI is 245. What does that mean? There's a semi-obscure test called Iatmo PS106, and what they do is they take a steel ball, 2 pounds, they drop it from a certain height. And when that ball hits your pan or tray or whatever, if there's any visible change, a dent, a crack, anything visible, that is a fail. Stop by our booth, 3602. We got the QR code. You can watch the test being done. It's with our product and a couple of our competitors, which will remain nameless, but every one of their products does not pass this test. Now, that doesn't mean they're defective or inferior. It just means that substrate they're using, the EPS foam they have, is not as robust as our product. Now, James, how you doing?
Very
Okay, now you're ready. You got the drain in? How about the...
Almost.
Oh, okay, so he's breaking a sweat. And now, all kidding aside, if we were in the field, how long does it take you to typically flash the sides of a shower pan with ProBase 2? Yeah, okay, but if you're going to flash, how long would it take? With the flashing. Okay. Dave said about a half hour is his average, okay? Okay? And I will tell you, we made some true believers out of some pretty... You were there. I'm not going to name the tile contractor, but these guys were excellent commercial tile contractors. They were just dry packed mortar, and the membrane on top was the way they did it. When we installed it in their warehouse, and then installed it on a job site. And by the way, what's really nice, at the end of the job, when you talk to the GC and you talk to the sub, and they go, we absolutely loved this product. It was so easy to use. Okay, we got a guy waiting back there. Oh, okay. All right, okay. We're coming down the home stretch. James, maybe you need a helper, huh? You need a helper? You're getting up there too now, buddy, okay? Anyway, a couple things and we're almost done. There's a lot of clamping ring drains out there, and a lot of good ones, okay? Now, what is different about ours, and please stop by the booth, take a look at it. Obviously the typical classic two-piece clamping ring drains with the weep holes and all that, that's still around. It's not going away. But what we tried to do, and we look at the bonded drain flanges out there, keep everything on the same plane. Great idea. But we felt, let's get that membrane attached with a little more robust, durable attachment. So what we have is membrane comes onto the drain body, clamping ring comes out, 250 sealant comes down. Now you've got that membrane locked in, okay? A little bit additional security. Now, as far as the weep holes, if you followed some of the results on using natural stone in showers and such, there's some concerns about water ponding at the drain. We've solved that problem. We have channels. They're not weep holes, but they're channels, which allow water to migrate down the throat. So you're not going to have, if you have that beautiful natural stone mosaic, water's not going to sit around the base of it and perhaps stain that insulation. So coming down the home stretch here, one more thought. I'm getting older. I have to remind myself. Don't go into shock, folks, but obviously Noble Company endorses sheet membranes. We really do believe in terms of crack isolation performance, vapor migrations, overall durability. Our sheet membranes are hard to beat. I mean, come on, take a look at them. Again, 22 years with the company. I don't spend a lot of time on construction defect litigation or being deposed or dealing with angry contractors because the shower pan material didn't work out too well. But having said that, in this town alone, we've had numerous projects where we're in the shower pan, Noble Seal TS, but somebody else's liquid membranes on the walls. Now, that's probably going to work, but potential warranty issues. So we have come up with our own liquid membrane, and I'll tell you this, it's not like your mom's liquid membrane, okay? What's the difference? Most liquid membranes put on the wall are going to have a vapor migration rate, permeation rate that you might think is too high, all right? I will tell you again, in this town, I've seen $14 million remediation charges based on vapor migration to stud wall cavities. So our product, Aqua Blue, I would say it probably has the lowest perm rating of any liquid membrane I've ever seen. What does that mean to you? Well, if you don't want to have callbacks because steam migrated through your wall assembly, create mold to stud wall cavities, this is a great product to use. It's competitively priced. And obviously, if you're using our sheet membrane TS in the pan or Chloralloy, using this on the walls, you still have the lifetime warranty transferable, okay? I think that about does it. So we're going to wrap this thing up. James is going to stay here till... James, when will you be done? What time?
I need a bit another bag.
Okay. Are there any quick questions before we get done here?
Need help getting up stage?
All right, well, look, come on by the booth 3602. Thank you very much for your time. Dean Moylan, Dave Kennedy, James Medina. Have a great show, folks. Thank you.